Hey everybody, welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. I'm Joe Mama, your host, and today I'd like to talk to you guys about a bunch of things, but the first and foremost is X-ray cracking. Now, what is X-ray cracking? X-ray cracking is another level of refining oil. Now, obviously, at this point, you've probably gotten to, if you're like me, yes, oil refining, pretty important technology. You can recognize it right off the bat, and you take crude oil and you refine it into what would be refined oil. I guess I can't really roll over that to see what it is, but refined oil and hydrogen. It's 2 parts refined oil, 1 part hydrogen. We know this, and but X-ray cracking, it takes it one extra level, kind of like Covarex enrichment from Factorio, if y'all are familiar with that. I'm sure you are. We can take the output of crude oil refining, plasma refining it's called in this game, which is the hydrogen and the refined oil, and we can turn it into energized graphite and 1 more hydrogen. So what that means is, because notice the input is 2 hydrogen, 1 light oil. I'm going to call it light oil, okay? I'm just going to do it. I'm Factorio. I'm going to call it light oil. So we can take the hydrogen and light oil, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part light oil, and turn it into 1 part energized graphite and 3 parts hydrogen. Now, if you can compare that to Covarex enrichment, you're putting in 2 hydrogen to get 3 hydrogen out. You're losing a light oil and you're gaining an energized graphite. So the net output of this is going to be 1 extra hydrogen and 1 energized graphite. You've basically just traded a light oil for a hydrogen and a energized graphite. That's pretty darn good, because you're going to need both of those for some of the more advanced technologies later on in the game. So I want to show you this setup and kind of explain it to you. Now, this is not my design. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is not my ratios. These are not my ratios. These are not my designs. This was done by, I want to say it was a fella named JD Plays. So full credit to him. He's out there. He's an Aussie, so he can't be that bad. And but anyway, if you take a look, what we've got, I've got 2 crude oil extractors. Okay, they're bringing the crude oil, putting them in tanks. Where are we at as far as that goes? Okay, that one's full, and that one's about half full. Okay, so it's bringing that and bringing it to those 2 oil extractors seem to be a good ratio for this arrangement, because I'm basically splitting this into 6 and 6 refiners. I've got a total of 18 oil refineries, and 12 of them are doing plasma refining. And if you look, they take the oil on the outside. I've paired them 2 by 2 with enough room for a belt in the middle, and they deposit inward. Take a look at the inserters. I'm going to call them inserters. They're sorters, but I'm going to call them inserters. Now take a look how they're arranged. Okay, it should be pretty self-explanatory. Each refiner deposits onto one of the hydrogen belts and one of the light oil belts. And yes, there are 2 belts, 1 dedicated to light oil, 1 dedicated to hydrogen. So just make sure you get your inserters depositing on the proper belts. And then they discharge to these splitters right here. Now, the splitters are set up so that the preferred output priority, let's see if I can put this here. Basically, it's got 1 input and 2 outputs. 1 output goes to these tanks right here. This is the excess. But 1 input, or 1 output, and this is the priority, goes to our remaining 6 refiners, and those refiners are set up for X-ray cracking. Now the same goes for the hydrogen here. The hydrogen has a splitter as well, and it has 2 discharges. It has 2 inputs and 2 discharges. Now the light oil only has 1 input, because we're not expecting any other inputs. The input's coming from the refineries, and then it's outputting to 2 locations. the hydrogen is receiving input from 2 locations and receiving output from 2 locations, or outputting to 2 locations. So our preferred input, in other words, the input we want to give priority to, is coming from the refiners, and the output that's preferred is going out toward the X-ray crackers. The X-ray crackers. Yeah, white guy in Georgia going in for a doctor's appointment. X-ray the cracker. Yeah, you heard it here. So anyway, so these are arranged so that the light oil and hydrogen come in on one side, and as you can see, they feed to all the refiners. I could probably get away with a couple more refiners, maybe. I haven't tried it. I don't know. But as you can see, the belts are not full here on the plasma refiners. So I would think these things are at capacity. I don't know. But this is a good ratio as far as I'm concerned, so I'm going to stick with it. So for every 2 oil extractors, I'm going to set up an arrangement similar to this. And then here, using the filtered inserters, we've got the discharge on this side, 2 discharges, and one discharge is the hydrogen and the other is the energized graphite. Now the energized graphite is the final product, really. It's a unique final product, and I'm just putting it into these stacked containers right here, and I'm setting them up for other production. So they don't need to go back into the system, but the hydrogen does. So the hydrogen, if I look at this splitter right here, now again, I've got the prioritized input coming in from the refiners, but it will also take input coming out of the X-ray crackers. Basically, I'm setting this up so that if for whatever reason hydrogen runs low coming from the plasma refiners, the X-ray crackers will be able to keep themselves supplied because they are producing a net. They're taking in 2 hydrogen, but they're discharging 3. So because they're discharging extra, I'm taking another output from this splitter and I'm putting into a stack of tanks. Now, right now, I don't actually have any use for them, for the hydrogen, but I will. And I may have to add more tanks until I figure that out. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys how X-ray cracking works and why it works and why you should invest in it. Which brings me to my next topic, is for those of you who've been following me, I did a lot of work on the planet. Let's take a look at something real quickly. Look at this. I created an equatorial belt of solar cells. And it's kind of important because I was running into the death spiral. I'm sure you all have heard of the death spiral. I had it happen to me when I overshot my energy production by producing too much stuff. I had too big of a demand. And I just thought, you know what? As long as I have solar, if I set up some solar, I will always have power to the inserters. Now, in this game, we don't have the luxury of coal-burning inserters like we had in Factorio. That's a beautiful thing in Factorio because no matter what, as long as you have coal-burning inserters, you can have them supply coal into generators, okay? So if you run out of power, if you have inserters going to the generators, if they're coal-burning, they'll keep going, whereas electric inserters will stop, and then that creates basically the death spiral. So this time, in this game, I just decided, you know what, let me just go totally nuts. And all along the equator, I have set up these solar cells that go all the way around. So no matter what, the sun will always be hitting some of them and producing, as you can see, a mad amount of power. So let me show you that right now. Right now I'm sitting at 134 megawatts. And I'm not going to use accumulators because the power output from these solar cells will always be the same because the sun is in the same place, or the sun just goes around the planet. It's along the equator, so even with seasons, it will make no difference as to how much power these solar cells will produce. Granted, only half of them will be used at any given time, but it will always be half. So it's a very predictable amount. I do not need accumulators to, quote, get me through the night because I've been checking the demand and the production, and it's been sitting at about 130 megawatts, give or take 5 or 10, for whatever reasons. And so that's going to keep me supplied for a long time, I'd say. So I set those up, and that was a nice long project. But what I was trying to get at is that I also set up automated red science production. So let's see, it's right here. So here's our science stacks right here. You can stack the science. Let's see, where am I? Let's see if we can fly to it. I would like to fly to it if we could. I think we go this way. Yes, let's go this way. So I think if we head this way, yep, there's our science stacks. Let's go take a look at what we've done and show you the progress. Now, I did a little experiment with some oil refining here too. I set up some oil cracking, some X-ray cracking over here just to play around to kind of get my ratios right as I was trying to make a halfway decent design. But then I decided, you know what, I just want to see someone else's efficient design. I don't need to come up with my own. I just need to explain the process. And that's why I went online to look for that and came up with JD Play's design, which is really good. Red science takes hydrogen, which is another reason you want to produce hydrogen, and it takes energized graphite. So those are the two products of X-ray cracking. So right there, you know that your X-ray cracking is going to do you some good, because those are the two things you're going to need to create the red science matrices. Now I went ahead and sent them into these storage units. Same with the blue. I relocated the blue over here, and now that we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and just start barreling through science. I didn't want to research too much, you know, off camera. I wanted to show some of it and show you what I was up to. I didn't want the game to start up again, the next episode have a crap ton of red science research, and y'all didn't even know that I was doing that. Oh, look at this. See, look at this disco thing set. Look at this. These science labs are just freaking awesome. I love it. So, loving this game, I gotta tell you. I'm having a great time. And I see... I'm sorry I didn't put the Discord link. I tried to get it, but I'm not the admin for the Discord, so I couldn't actually share the link. But it is out there. So my recommendation to you is go search for the Dyson Sphere project, Dyson Sphere program Facebook page, and pinned to the top of the page will be the Discord link. I tried to cut and paste it, and it wasn't working. So, but the Discord link is out there. Be sure to check it out and join the fun, join the discussion. Lots of great people there, and you will see that these guys are totally blowing through the game and making great progress, way farther than I am, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm going through it the pace that I can. I got a business to run, and I can't exactly do it like others can. So, by the way, I've automated the production of inserters, or sorters as they're called. And let's see, what have I got here? Yeah, this is just a, how many are in there? Not too many. And in order to do that, I'm producing electric motors, I'm producing gears, I'm producing all kinds of wonderful stuff. But the goal here is that I want to produce some of the more commonly used items, and that includes the inserters, and I think I did the splitters as well, right? Yeah, I got splitters being made also. But right now, oh man, I'm kind of hurting in the iron plate department. So let's see. Yeah, so I need to get some more iron plates up through here. I'm really putting a demand on iron plates over here. So I guess I could try to make some more, maybe using this arrangement over here, maybe? Don't know. But I'm also producing utility poles. There's a whole, or Tesla poles, I'm sorry, Tesla towers. Got a whole bunch of those being made. Gonna need those. And so I'm trying to think more globally in this game. Okay, I've been setting up these little bootstrap bases all over the place, and I'm just trying to think on a more global scale. From the sound of things, I think it's almost necessary. And to that end, I've just tried to start stretching a belt across the belt of the equator. The actual equator runs under this belt. These solar cells are just a little bit above it, or below it. Let me see. To the south. They're a little bit south of the equator. Okay, see, that's an interesting reason for putting something very visible on the equator. That means you can kind of see it. I mean, if you look at this planetary view, I mean, look at that. There is a belt around the equator. You can see the poles. So red is north and blue is south. I never really thought about that, but if you take a look, you can see my geographic location in longitude, latitude. I'm at 119 degrees east and 0 degrees south, but if I keep going this way, I go farther and farther south. And if I stand on this belt, I'm at 0, 0, and that is basically the equator. So there you go. That belt is the equator. And I'd like to set up collection points for like a global collection point for everything. All iron goes to one place and gets smelted and gets distributed, and all oil, you know. But I think I may be I think that may be a bridge too far. So far, what I'm doing is kind of working. I don't know. It's very haphazard right now. I'd like to change it. So let me see. Where are we at? Okay, this is our oil refining right here. And if I look over, where is it? I've got an oil refining setup over here, or it's soon to be an oil refining setup. Let's see, where am I? All right, I want to try to fly there so you can see what I'm up to. It's all the way on the other side, isn't it? Pretty close. Up, there we go. We got crystal smelting. Great. And now you've mastered the ultimate smelting techniques. Now you can change the atomic arrangement of the element through smelting and quickly produce advanced materials such as diamonds. Okay, so we've got crystal smelting. Let's see what else we can do. What would we need to make a diamond? Oh, okay. We can do that with energized graphite. And we make it, how do we make it? A smelting facility. Okay, got it. So we can do that. Okay, let's queue up some science. Photon frequency conversion. Okay. Looks kind of cool. We can do that. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that. We'll queue up energy storage. We did titanium smelting. Hydrogen fuel rod. Let's go ahead and get that. We got one of those in the very beginning of the game when we disassembled our rocket. And then let's do the supermagnetic field generator, which, let's see. Yep. Okay, we'll get some science queued up, and the magnetic particle trap. All right. Heck, why not? We'll set it up. Okay. So let's get out of tech and see, how much energy do I have? Do I have enough to go for a good long flight? Not exactly. How many belts do I have? Should I grab some while I'm here? Probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So, grab a couple of belts. And let's sit here by the Tesla charger, or by the charging pole. And let's go for a ride. Okay, boom. Oh, that's what I need to do. Oh my goodness, yes. I need to increase the battery on this thing. On this Jaeger. We need to increase how much juice we can hold. And I've totally forgotten about that. Oh, there's where we want to go, right there. Okay. Yeah, we can do some tech updates, tech upgrades. Totally. All right, let's take a look, and we'll queue some of them up as well, if we can. I'm not sure exactly how much we can queue. The mecha core. Yep, we're going to set that up. Can it queue? Okay, yeah, it queued that. And then mecha speed, we'll queue that up. Now what about this mecha core right here? Okay, there we go. That one's done. Okay, we would need one of the other sciences to do that. Let's see, what else can we do? Energy circuit, more mecha power, let's do that. Alright. Yeah, there we go. So this is what I did. I've got 4 oil extractors, and I've got them set up into a little bit of a loop. Okay. 2 of them feed into this splitter right here. This splitter funnels them into one feed right here. Then it splits it again into two and feeds these oil tanks. And they come out of the oil tanks into this splitter right here, and then basically it puts these tanks in the circuit as a buffer, and then it just sends the output this way along these belts. And notice there's an output coming back the other way, and that feeds into this splitter. So this splitter has basically 3 inputs and 1 output. And so this feed coming in feeds into this splitter. I'm sorry, not this one. It feeds into this splitter, which feeds into these tanks. And then if there's room on the belt, it will feed it back into this output that we were just ready to follow. So I just want to show you this and kind of give you an idea what I'm trying to do. And I've got an almost identical setup. Actually, pretty much is an identical setup over here. So basically, I've got 2 extractors on this side, 8 tanks on this side, the same splitter arrangement, and basically I've got, in effect, I've got 4 oil extractors, 16 tanks, and basically all that's happening is the oil is being allowed to circulate between these 2 sets of tanks. Does that make sense? So they're far away, but yet they're acting as one system. So what I can do, I should be able to set up a X-ray cracking facility right here. That's my next goal. And there will be another one set over in this area as well. So that way we should have a total of 36 refineries cracking a crap ton of oil. So that's my goal. How many refineries do I have on me that maybe we could start the process? I've got 20. I need to make more. How many do I have the ability to make? We can go ahead and start that process. Yeah, so that's what's going on here on my planet. I haven't taken us into space yet, but that will be coming. Something I want to do. But again, the biggest thing I wanted to get out to you guys was that oil cracking, that X-ray cracking, and how exactly that's done. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is start laying these out. And oil would be coming in on this side. And also during this process, I finally figured out how to use the shift copy. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. But just hold shift and then left click. And then as long as you have the proper facility in your inventory, it will allow you to place it complete with the recipe already installed. So let me see if I do this right. Okay, then at that point, at this point, and I end up actually may have to reroute these belts here. But at this point, then energy storage. There we go. So now we've got the accumulator. But again, I don't really think I need it at this moment. At any point during the day, I can look and see we're still sitting at 133 megawatts. We're not really moving from that production level, and that's because we got the solar cells going all around the planet. It really doesn't affect us. So anyway, yes, I will continue setting this up, and when we come back, I will have that good to go, I think. But otherwise, and I'll try to keep this short. It's been pointed out to me that my videos run a little long, and you're absolutely right, they do. Because, like I said, I just kind of let them run without being properly edited. I let them upload without being properly edited, and that's kind of wrong. I shouldn't do that. But I just wanted to get the information of the game out there. You know, I'm really enjoying it. But anyway, by the way, very shortly, even though YouTube kind of says we've reached this point, it rounds up, but we're almost there. We haven't quite reached it. But 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year. So people have seen fit to watch 4,000 hours of my content, and that's very cool. That is one of 2 checkpoints that you need to reach if you wanted to monetize the channel. I don't know that I will do that, but it's kind of nice to know that the option might be available. Now, the other one I'd have to reach 1,000 subs. I'm at about a third of that, but still, you know, I think that's pretty good to reach that point, and I'm pretty happy with it. That's kind of satisfying. So anyway, I hope this made sense, and I hope you're having a great day. And be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao.